Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing? It's Well Red Beard. We are here for Beard on King, episode 8. And today we're talking about Dr. Sleep, the book. Now, I got to warn you, we're just talking about the book. I'm going to try to just talk about the book, even though I rewatched the movie last night. And I'm going to try to not let those two things intersect here. I'm going to try to save that for the next video where we will talk about Dr. Sleep, the film, and then kind of talk about all the differences. I don't want to talk, I mean, some differences will come up here. It will happen, but I'm going to try not to do that. I really like this book, and I'm going to give it 4 stars. Now, if you follow me, you know I just gave The Shining 3 stars, which is weird. It even sounds weird to me. I can tell you that this was a first read. The Shining was a reread. The Shining for me was, I would have told you, probably my favorite Stephen King book. I thought that I really loved it, but I just reread it. And what I realized was a lot of that iconic shit that was in my head were movie elements and not book elements. And ultimately, I wasn't nuts about a lot of the things about the actual book, The Shining. So, yes, as of today, I think Dr. Sleep, the book, is a better, in my opinion, a better book than The Shining. And yes, I've already said it, but it does sound weird to me. Why? Why? I love Rose the Hat. Rose the Hat is one of my favorite King villains of all time. I love the True Knot, Snakebite Andy, Crow Daddy. That group of villains, that group of soul vampires, or whatever you want to call them, and I'll get a little bit more into that in a bit. I dug the hell out of it. I mean, now I absolutely love the Overlook. Love the Overlook Hotel. It's one of my favorite settings of all time. I mean, I love this sprawling hotel that 3 people are trapped in, and I love it. But for me, the ghost of the Overlook, while they were very, very threatening to young Daniel Torrance, these real life, the True Knot, these real life villains that are tracking down and feeding off the pain and fear, and they're not just abducting kids and killing them. They're not just killing them. I mean, they're torturing them because the fear and pain, or whatever. What they say, it enhances the steam. It purifies the steam. The steam is basically the soul, basically the essence of these shining kids, of these kids that have this sort of shining power. So we open on Danny post the Overlook, post Jack Torrance, post The Shining, and him and his mother, and then there's some early scenes with him. We know that Dick Halloran got out of the Overlook in the book. He did not get out of the Overlook in the movie, but he plays a role early in the book, and we see him, or we find out that he has passed on at one point, and so on and so forth. But it's weird because Danny is an alcoholic, and there are some vile, dirty, filthy scenes around that make you, they're very cringeworthy, because you're like, we were so invested in him getting out of the Overlook. We were so invested of him getting out from underneath his father and living this life. And this is what we were, this is what our investment turned into. This is what we were waiting on. We were waiting on him to basically become a shithead alcoholic like his father. We do realize that he does that to quiet the ghost, to quiet the shine, he is still being haunted by ghosts from the Overlook, literally, the woman in was it 237, and so forth, and he is taught this trick by Dick on how to put these boxes in his mind and trap these ghosts from the Overlook. But anyway, there's a scene early on where he is out drinking with a woman, goes back to her place, snorting cocaine, all these, and he wakes the next day, and there's a baby presence, and And there's cocaine on the table, and the baby's reaching for the cocaine, and Mama, Candy, and he's trying to keep that from happening. But he's woke up, he realizes all his money's gone, and that they had probably used his money for the cocaine, so he's going to steal what the woman has left. And you're kind of led to believe later on down the road that she is dead in the bed, and that the baby then dies because he leaves him there untaken care of. So much so that they come back and visit him later, like they haunt him in this, and they're dead in that scene. It's this pivotal, just filthy scene that we keep coming back to. Mama Candy, Mama Candy. Now, I got to talk about Will Patton. If you don't know Will Patton, in my mind, is one of the best supporting actors of all time. I mean, remember the Titans, the Mothman prophecies. Right now, he's in Yellowstone with Kevin Costner, but I've always loved him as an actor. There's a few actors that really inspire me with the way, they're able to pull off that big line. They're able to pull off that heartfelt, emotional moment, like Will Patton. Ed Harris used to be able to do it, of course. Oh shit, there's a few others, but I'm forgetting. Anyway, but Will Patton does the reading on the audiobook, and he does a hell of a job with it, and he is not afraid to sink into feminine voices and baby voices and all these things. So when he's saying Mama Candy, and I'm not going to do it, but it's fucking throat punching. I mean, you're, oh my God. So anyway, so again, Danny's this alcoholic, but again, we realize it's to kind of quell, his past ghosts or whatever. So, he's in the process of pulling himself out of that, trying to anyway. AA, and finds a job, finds a town, finds an apartment, and starts getting contacted by Abra. Abra, I don't know if I've said this, because this is my second time shooting it, and the only reason I'm shooting it a second time is because I couldn't remember Will Patton's name, and I spent like 3 or 4 minutes on screen trying to find that on my phone. So I said Rose the Hat and the True Knot, some of my favorite King villains. Abra Stone, he's done a lot of books about kid protagonists, right? Or at least a handful of them. And Abra Stone is one of my favorites. I love the character of Abra Stone. I love her moxie, I guess, and her guts and her whatever. I really like Rose the Hat. I really like Abra Stone, and again, that's kind of justification for why on this particular day I like the book better. So I'm lost on what I've already told you and what I haven't. Anyway, so I'm not going to go back into the way that the True Knot abducts and kills children that have the shine, because I'm going to assume that I've already said that. I'm doing real well today, but so Abra and Danny, get in contact. I mean, they both shine. They've got this telepathic link or whatever, and they start to communicate. Abra has witnessed the True Knot killing the baseball boy, the kid that the little baseball player that they captured and tortured. There's a very, very cool scene in the film that I'm going to briefly mention here, even though I said I wasn't going to, because I don't know if it exists in the book. I think it does. I mean, I know that the way that they kill this kid and the way that all that happens is very, very similar between the two. But there's one line in the film where he's like, "Is this going to hurt? Or is this, are you going to hurt me?" And Rose the Hat leans in and just says, "Yes." And on film, that shit, you're like, damn. Again, I want to tell you how pretty, the actress that played Rose the Hat was. I'm getting away from this. No more film stuff. So anyway, they start communicating over that. Abra starts communicating with Danny. They start talking, and ultimately, it's we find out that the True Knot has discovered Abra. Abra's discovered the True Knot, and they're after her because she's the biggest bucket of steam that they've ever found, and they live off of that. I love the vampiric quality to it. The fact that they live off of this this steam. In ways it's again, it's not drinking blood, but it's very vampiric thing. Even so, to the fact that when they die, they kind of turn to dust, turn to ash, much like vampires. I really like that stuff. And then I've talked for 10 minutes, so I'm gonna kind of skip ahead. Ultimately, we get the Danny story I think that we wanted. We get his redemption. We get his ability to turn his back on the alcohol and help a young shining kid, whereas his father could not. And I know. At the end of the book, he has a moment of where he actually does not kill his son, but Danny surpasses all that and actually helps Abra to our culmination. Now our culmination is a lot different in the book than the movie. A lot different. Like there are differences throughout the movie and the book, and again, I'm not going to dwell on them, but the differences in the ending are huge. Like huge. And again, we know that the Overlook still existed at the end of Kubrick's film. We know that the Overlook did not exist at the end of King's book. So we do have this final showdown, this final throwdown between Abra and Danny and Billy, another character, and Rose the Hat and the surviving members of the True Knot. And it happens basically on the grounds of the Overlook, on the place where the hotel used to stand. And it's a cool scene. It's a cool ending. And I will say that Jack Torrance does make an appearance. The ghost of the Overlook do make an appearance in the ending of the book. And here I am. I want to tell you about the film, but I'm not gonna. So it's a cool ending. We get that redemption, and we get that whole. We feel that the investment in Danny, the investment in wanting him to survive what happened 40 years ago or whenever it was worth it because of Abra's situation and of ultimately Danny's redemption. So there's a ton here, but I keep going back to the film, and so I'm going to stop. I've talked for almost 13 minutes. I love the book, or I like the book a lot. I don't love it. I like the book a lot. I will say that the relationship between Abra and Danny here, it's different in the book than the film, and I'm not going to tell you why, but there's, and I don't know. I think I like that. I think I like the actual relationship, and if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. But the actual relationship between Abra and Danny, they're more than acquaintances in the book. So that's it. I apologize for rambling so much, but I finished this probably like 2 weeks ago. I should have done this video sooner, and then I watched the film last night, and so like everything on my mind really is about the film. But I enjoyed it. 4 stars. Dr. Sleep, Stephen King, well-read beard on King. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, leave a comment and tell me. No, seriously, if you did like it, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, leave a comment. If you disagree, leave a comment. I know that not many people are going to agree with me on liking Dr. Sleep more than The Shining. I'm not sure that I agree with myself on it, but today I do. So I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong books. Like, subscribe, leave comments, engage. Have a fine day. Bye.